everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Fiona and I love all things art. And in today's video, we're looking at 10 art journaling ideas to try just to help boost creativity, whether you're a beginner or if you have been doing this for a long time. Sometimes you get a bit stuck at that blank page and need a bit of inspiration and some fresh ideas. So keeping an art journal can be a great way to try out creative ideas, unwind, play, journal, plan, anything goes. It's just for you. There are no rules and it can be as private or as public as you like. You can collect pictures that inspire you, record your day, stick in photos. It's basically creating a space just for you and having that mini escape and just you time. You can use any art book that you have, or you can even use old books, and if the pages are too thin you could just glue two together to create some strength in them. So what do you put in an art journal? Pretty much whatever you want, but sometimes we do get stuck on those blank pages, so here are 10 ideas to get you going. Number one is journaling. Now, I'm not much of a writer, but I do love the look of it and I like the idea of it. And last year I did start journaling my day here and there, and now I actually love looking back at it, and it takes me right back to that particular day which I would have otherwise forgotten about. You can leave the writing as it is, or you can add drawings, paintings, photos, receipts, tickets and things like that. And it also becomes a special keepsake for later on. You can also journal recipes, song lyrics, thoughts and feelings, ideas. You can even just keep scribbling over the top of it so no one can read it. So number two is collage. So here you can collect some old magazines, junk mail, your kids' artwork, old cards, wrapping paper, books, artwork that you've made. Even I sometimes rip up artwork that I don't like and collage with it. And just start cutting, tearing, gluing and layering. You can have a colour theme or a theme like food, music, flowers, vintage, grunge, or you can just be completely random. And sometimes with my collages, I leave them as you can see them here, or if I'm just collaging random scraps of paper, then I do go over them with some gesso and some paint and layer them with stenciling and stamps and all that kind of thing. Next we have colour swatches, and this is a good one for that first page of your book that you just don't know what to put in there. So here you can just do some swatches of your watercolours or pastels or pencils or acrylics or anything, and you can just do plain colour swatches like I am here. In other ones that I've done, I had all these different mediums and I wanted to see the effect of them, like what the watercolour looked like, what the oil pastel looked like, etc, etc. So I just did a blue flower in each of the mediums and labelled them. So I had 2 pages full of blue flowers but in all different mediums. So that's another good one that you can do, and it's like a warm-up page for your art journal. Journaling ideas is magazine cutouts. So you can grab some old magazines that you've got lying around the house, or even just go to your local op shop where they're super cheap. You can get any kind of theme that appeals to you. Like, how beautiful is that? And then you can just cut and glue until your heart's content, or you can do what I've done here, and I've just layered the page with different paints and stencils and some of those oil pastels. And then I've gotten a magazine cut out of this actress, I'm not sure what her name is, popped a plate over the top of her and cut her out in a circle, stuck her on top, and then just added a bit of paint to blend it in. And there's Jimi Hendrix as well popping out from behind her, and she just becomes a feature of the page. Another idea I want to talk about is using photos in art journaling. So 20 years ago or so, scrapbooking was huge. I used to do so much scrapbooking. As you can see here, they probably look a little bit outdated now, but scrapbooking was so fun. You would just put your favourite photos and little embellishments and different crafts and things here. I went all out with this one with all the fabric and the ribbons. We were so young, but these are memories that you keep forever, and you know your kids can look at and things like that. You can do all sorts of things with photos. Here I've done all my kids' artworks and put their photos in with all their artworks as little keepsakes for them. I have done a whole video on these ones with the kids' artworks. So you can do something like that, or if you want to make it like a little bit more modern, you can do what I did here with the magazine cutout. So the next one is you can just paint something. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, like here I'm just doing a basic sunflower. And there's so many YouTube tutorials if you're stuck. Otherwise you can just keep practicing. What's the worst that can happen? If you don't like it, you can collage over the top of it. It's just something nice to put down on the paper and just relax with. You know, I'm not great at painting, but I keep trying to learn and get better at it. And you might surprise yourself with what you come up with. So the next one is stenciling, which is great to use to layer your art journal pages. Now, I used to make a big mess of these until I learned how to do it properly. So the trick is to have a dry brush with thick paint. So not too much water and not too much paint. And I've just bought a stencil brush from Kmart, and you just want to swirl the colour around on that stencil. And here you can see the effect it has when you just put all those layers down on your page. The next one you may or may not like, it is drawing. When I first wanted a creative hobby for myself, I turned to drawing because I loved it so much as a kid. I just picked up a pencil and paper and I just found it so relaxing to just sit there and draw. This is some of my earlier stuff when I very first started, or started back from when I was a lot younger. I just used to practice all different kinds of things. Used to go on YouTube a lot and follow tutorials, what was in front of me, what was around me. Inspiration from Becky Chow, who does a lot of watercolour on YouTube. And then I gravitated towards faces. I love doing faces, eyes and lips. A bit of an upside down one there. And then I progressed. That was the other night. I was trying to sort of see the difference from when I first started to now. And then I got into a lot of coloured pencil work, and this is one of my later ones, which I really, really love, this one. But yeah, like I said, you may or may not like this topic, because some people just say I can't even draw a stick figure, and that's fine. You can just do some doodles of some flowers and love hearts and just doodle the page away. Like that's not even good. Like, that's meant to be my foot crossed over. I think. I don't even know. Like, it's just like a little scribble. But you might surprise yourself and really love what you come up with. So yeah, that's my other one. The next topic is a little bit extra. It probably requires a little bit more effort, and it is childhood favourites. So I've gone and done a couple of junk journals here. So junk journals is just, it's, how do you describe it? It's a bunch of beautiful papers and pockets and pictures, all put into one beautiful book, and you can put little keepsakes in there, little photos, recipes, notes, anything you like. And these two are made from old little golden books. So you take the little golden book apart, and then you add all different papers and then sew it back together. There's heaps of tutorials on YouTube regarding the little golden book junk journals. And then what I did, this one is more 60s inspired, like it's quite vintage with all the 60s little golden books in here. But this one is more my generation, which is the 80s, and I've got an old Barbie book. And then being a bit extra, I went and got back to those 50 free prints from Snapfish. I did download some of my really old favourite books and movies and characters to put in my junk journal. There's just some watercolour cutouts that I had done. You've got, if anyone's from the 80s, they would remember the Babysitters Club and Dolly Magazine and all that. And it's all this stuff that we forget about and just gets lost along the way. So I was just really in the mood to document like all my favourite childhood things into one book, and just as like a little keepsake. And it will probably just mean more to you, and you can even have old photos of your childhood home or old lounge room, or photos of yourself when you were younger, favourite storybooks, favourite foods, anything. It's like a book just for you, you know? Like it's quite personal, this one. I remember in year 6 we had to make, it was called a me journal, and it was sort of similar. It was all photos of you. It was the book about you sort of thing. And I remember just loved creating it, like putting in special pictures and photos. And yeah, just for you, that one. So I thought that was a fun idea to do. And the last one on our list is layering. Now I do have videos on my channel showing my personal process with layering and art journaling. There are no rules. You can literally do anything you like, but this is just what I do. I usually start by ripping up different papers and gluing them onto my page to create some texture. Then I go over it with some white gesso as a base, and then I go over that with some paints, like it can be watercolor paints or acrylics or chalk pastels or wax pastel, oil pastels. And then sometimes I'll go over and draw an image. Sometimes I even start with a drawn image like that, and then I'll just start going over the top of it. You don't have to draw. You can, that's something that I've glued in. Then I've got this one, which was from a colouring in page that I had done. And I just put a plate over it, cut a circle around it and pop it in, and then I just draw around it to make it look like it's blended into the page. I've added glitter, I've added watercolours, I've added papers, cutouts from a magazine. I just keep layering and layering, stenciling until I don't know what else to do. Sometimes it doesn't turn out how you like it, and that's fine. It's all about experimentation and playing. That's the fun of art journaling, is anything goes. And on that note, there's another one with a magazine cutout. And on that note, I'll wrap this video up. I hope you've gotten some ideas out of it to try, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.